In the history of global entertainment, few icons have commanded as much power as the trinity known as the Big Three. Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece didn't just dominate the charts, they defined an entire generation of fans. But behind the flashy battles and epic soundtracks lies a secret history of corporate survival and fierce rivalry. To understand their rise, we must look back at the mid-1990s, when the golden age of Shonen Jump was ending. When legends like Dragon Ball departed, the magazine faced a vacuum that threatened its very existence. In 1997, Eiichiro Oda introduced a boy made of rubber, signaling the first pillar of a new era. 2 years later, Masashi Kishimoto's Naruto Uzumaki brought the world of shinobi to the forefront. Finally, in 2001, Tite Kubo's Bleach completed the trinity with its sharp style and supernatural edge. One Piece became the commercial leader, built on world building that spans decades of foreshadowing. Naruto, however, was the cultural ambassador that broke the West, making ninjas a global obsession. Bleach brought the rule of cool, blending urban fantasy with high-fashion character designs. Every week, these three fought for the top spot in reader polls, a cutthroat system of popularity. The rivalry extended to the animation studios, with Pierrot handling Naruto and Bleach, while Toei held One Piece. To prevent catching up, the studios produced massive amounts of filler, with Naruto and Bleach reaching nearly 45%. In contrast, One Piece opted for a slower pacing strategy, keeping its filler rate remarkably low. Eiichiro Oda eventually secured the Guinness World Record for the most copies published by a single author. That milestone stands at over 500 million copies, a commercial achievement that dwarfs its competitors. Naruto's 250 million sales solidified its place as a permanent icon of global pop culture. Bleach reached 130 million copies, attracting a niche that loved its introspective and edgy tone. Behind the scenes, Shueisha executives managed the trinity to ensure the magazine's continued dominance. One Piece has held the #1 annual average rank for 26 years, with only 1 year taken by Naruto. Despite the competition, Kishimoto and Oda maintained a deep respect and a friendly rivalry for 15 years. The cost was high. Oda famously slept only 3 hours a night to maintain his weekly quality. Kishimoto drew from his own childhood in rural Okayama to build the loneliness of Naruto Uzumaki. Tite Kubo's love for fashion and poetry made Bleach the most visually distinctive series in Jump. For millions of Western fans, the Toonami block was the gateway that introduced them to these legends. The Naruto run became a cultural phenomenon, transcending the anime to become a global meme. Luffy's straw hat became a symbol of freedom that resonated with fans across all borders. The word Bankai became synonymous with power, echoing through school halls around the world. The trinity first broke in 2012, when the Bleach anime was forced into a decade-long hiatus. 2 years later, the era officially ended as Masashi Kishimoto published the final chapter of Naruto. Yet, One Piece remains, entering its final saga as the last standing pillar of the original trinity. The 2022 return of Bleach proved its legacy was eternal, bringing movie-quality animation to the small screen. While many debate a new Big Three, the original trinity's 15-year marathon remains unmatched. The difference lies in longevity, a constant weekly presence for over a decade that defined an era. At their core, these stories taught us that willpower is the ultimate force against impossible odds. This era turned Shonen Jump into a billion-dollar global franchise, spanning every form of media. The modern anime community was born in these forums, where theories and fan art flourished for years. The soundtracks, from heroic themes to emotional ballads, became the music of a generation's childhood. They became Japan's greatest cultural exports, driving global interest and tourism for decades. But success came at a cost. The intense schedule of a weekly manga artist is one of the hardest in art. Oda's dedication has led to several health scares, a testament to the weight of his 25-year journey. Masashi Kishimoto famously delayed his honeymoon for over a decade to keep Naruto on schedule. Tite Kubo faced intense physical and mental strain during Bleach's final arc, nearly ending his career. Behind the scenes, the corporate machine of Shueisha navigated these series to global domination. One Piece's strength is its depth, with Oda planting narrative seeds that bloom 20 years later. Naruto's heart was its emotional resonance, making every fan feel the pain of a lonely child. Bleach's mastery was its aesthetics, a series that looked as sharp as the swords its characters wielded. Naruto gave us rivals that felt human, with conflicts rooted in complex family legacies. One Piece gave us villains like Blackbeard, who represented the darker side of absolute ambition. While modern hits like Demon Slayer and JJK dominate today, they owe their path to the Big Three. One Piece is a story about the inherited will and the dreams of men that will never die. Naruto is a story about the desire to be seen and the journey to prove one's worth to the world. Bleach is a story about the soul's duty to protect those it loves across the boundary of life and death. The economic impact of these series has been massive, contributing billions to Japan's global brand. Masterful composers like Takanashi Yasuharu and Shiro Sagasu crafted the epic soundscapes of these worlds. The greatest mystery in anime history, the nature of the One Piece, continues to fuel millions of theories. The global community of fans is the true legacy of the Big Three, a family united by these stories. Despite the competition, the three authors shared a deep respect for each other's work and struggle. As one adventure ends, another begins, for the spirit of the Big Three is the spirit of the human heart. As we look back, we see not just three shows, but a shared history that will continue to define the shonen genre for decades to come.